Awesome at Being Awesome proudly presents Does My Dog Have a Soul? A story by Danny Pehar. My name is Danny and I'm a boy with a goal. I want to find out if my dog has a soul. It all started about 3 days ago. I was sitting in class at about 1 or so. And all things considered, I guess you can say I was having an above average day. When my teacher said, "Everyone listen carefully, we have to talk. Watch the board as I write with this chalk. Today we're going to learn about your soul, S-O-U-L, and you'll see why having one is so swell." We talked about this for the rest of the day as our teacher went on to say, "Your soul is what helps you to groove and dance, makes you feel good, even in tight pants. Your soul is what makes you laugh and play, it's what makes you scream, hooray! Your soul is everything that makes you good, even if you can give it away, you never should. Your soul is your ticket into heaven." And I suppose she even means that bad boy Kevin. I had a question, so I put up my hand to interrupt my teacher. "You're on such a great roll, and you'd make a great preacher. But I just have one question that needs a reply. Does my dog have a soul? He's a really nice guy." She looked at me and said something so shocking it was kind of a blur. "You know what, Danny? That's a good question, but I'm really not sure." Not sure? Not sure? This was quite the blur. How could she not know? How could this be? My teacher was supposed to know a lot more than me. This is where my good day started to turn. This is where I got a pretty big concern. In heaven, all the things we love are supposed to be in our sight. To think my dog wouldn't be there just didn't feel right. When school finished, I went home right away. I was going to get my dog, and it wasn't to play. I shouted, "Toby," because that was his name. This is very serious and not a game. "Get your leash, we're going on a trail." He got so happy, he started to wag his tail. He ran towards me with his tongue hanging out. He was so excited, he started to bark and shout. He kissed and hugged me with his furry touch. I'm not embarrassed to say I love him so much. But as fun as it was to laugh and play, we had to get going, had to be on our way. For our trip, some snacks I started bagging. And the whole time, Toby's tail couldn't stop wagging. We left for our trip, but we needed another friend. So we called Patty. On our street, she lived at the end. "Patty, come on, we're going on a stroll. It's a journey to find out if Toby has a soul." Patty came right away. I knew she would for sure. She's a pretty good girl. Someday I'll marry her. And there we were, 3 chums on a mission, hoping to find an answer, hoping and wishing. We stopped to catch our breath and felt a breeze coming from Toby's tail. He was happy because across the street a man was delivering mail. "Hey, Mr. Mailman, hate to bother you while you're on patrol, but can you answer whether or not my dog has a soul?" "Wow," said the mailman, "that's a really good question, but I'm afraid I don't have an answer or even a suggestion." So there we were on our journey again. I knew we'd find an answer, but I didn't know when. We found no answer at the top of the hill, although coming down was quite the thrill. We went to the playground with no luck, but we had some fun with a toy truck. We didn't see anything while playing tag, but the whole time Toby's tail couldn't help but wag. We found nothing playing in the grass, but what a fun way to have time pass. Still nothing playing in the leaves, but it was so fun I even rolled up my sleeves. No answer came from running in the wind, but it was so fun as we laughed and grinned. We couldn't find anything playing hide and go seek, but it was so fun Toby even kissed my cheek. We took a break from all our hard work. We certainly didn't want to go berserk. We pretended we were on a boat with a big sail. Patty and I laughed as Toby wagged his tail. With all this playing, we were having so much fun, but no closer to an answer than when we begun. We searched and searched. I was starting to get sappy. But at least during all this time, Toby was happy. He stopped to smell a rose, a sign, and even a snail. Would you believe the whole time he was wagging his tail? Toby's tail always shows his mood. It moves when he's happy and when he sees food. But we were looking for an answer and we still didn't know. We were looking for an answer and we had to go. I thought we would continue and still roam, but sadly, Patty had to go home. It was getting late, soon she'd have to be in bed. It was then Patty looked at me and said, "I wish I knew if your dog had a soul. I would have told you while on this stroll. I wish I could tell you, I wish I could be the one. But if it makes you feel better, this was a lot of fun." Patty was right about what she said, and then a thought came to my head. I was going to find out what I needed to make me feel glad. Toby and I were going to walk Patty home and then ask my mom and dad. "Mom, Dad, you're 2 people we can trust. We have a question where an answer is a must. Today, Toby and I have had one main goal. We've been trying to find out if Toby has a soul." My parents looked at each other in a certain way, then looked at me and started to say, "We can answer this question for you the way we know best. We'll answer this question for you so you can put it to rest. You've headed out on this journey to succeed or fail. And yes, of course Toby has a soul. It's in his tail.